Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today as we talk about our Central Canadian garden and the possibility of actually planting outdoors in the middle of April. Typically in our area, with our last frost date of June 2nd, we would never be planting outdoors this time of year. It's just too cold, too much snow on the ground. But we've had some really nice weather, and there are a few beds where the ground actually can be worked already, and we do have some things that can be planted in soil conditions like we have right now. Our main garden area is still completely covered with snow. However, this section with the 3 low raised beds, 2 of them are now accessible, and the surface soil is just thawed out enough to do some work in it. This 3rd bed that you see, the path in between them is still got some snow in it, but it's mostly full of water, so it's not as accessible. Plus, this bed was still covered with snow the morning I took this shot, and it's still too frozen to work with. There are a few things that we have among our stock of seeds that can be planted as soon as the soil can be worked, while others can be planted anywhere from 1 to 6 weeks before our final frost. These here are the seeds that we have that all can be planted before our last frost date, which is June 2nd. We will probably not be planting all of the seeds that I have in this picture, but I will be focusing on carrots. And so when we started clearing our first bed, which you see here, that is what I have in mind. We'll be planting carrots in this bed. The main thing my daughter and I had to work on when we were getting this bed ready was to get as many of the weeds and the roots as we possibly could. Some of them were actually already starting to grow, and of course when you've got something like dandelions, the roots are quite deep, which meant we had to do some serious digging into frozen ground to try and get those roots out. They broke, of course, they're going to come back, but we did have some other interesting finds in the process. Last year we had garlic planted in this bed, but as we dug around we found these are onion bulbs, not garlic. I don't know where they came from. We went ahead and planted the 2 little onion bulbs back in the corner of this bed, and then while my daughter worked on the next bed, I set up the hoops, and then we covered the whole thing with plastic, very temporary. It's held in place with duct tape. Just to create a bit of a greenhouse and get the soil to thaw out and warm up a little bit more. And weather willing, I hope to be planting carrots in here in the next day or 2, or at least within the next week, depending on how things go in the next little while. The middle bed that my daughter was working on last year, we had yellow pear tomatoes growing in there, as well as red onions. So that at least explains why we did still find a couple more little red onions that I missed from last year when I was cleaning up the bed. The 2 little onions got transplanted back into the bed when it was clear, and that bed is not going to be covered with plastic. It's just going to be left as is, and this bed will actually end up having the Tom Thumb popcorn planted in it later on. So that's not going to be planted into until about maybe a week after our June 2nd last frost date. The 3rd bed, I haven't decided yet what's going in there. When it comes to the carrots that will be planted in this bed, we have decided to go ahead and make seed tape. To make the seed tape, we have a roll of 2-ply toilet paper, water and flour to make a paste, and then the seeds are ready in the little bowl over here, and we have the pieces of a bamboo skewer left over from a craft project that I did. Bamboo skewers and wooden chopsticks have been remarkably handy tools when it comes to starting seeds indoors or for doing projects like making this seed tape. To assemble the seed tape, I measured off a length of toilet paper that matched the length of the table that I was working on, and then separated it into 2 single-ply lengths of toilet paper. With the paste, it was just a mixture of equal parts water and flour, and I used the blunt end of the bamboo skewer piece to stir that into a nice smooth paste. Once the flour paste is nice and smooth, I use the bamboo skewer to put evenly spaced drops of the paste on the bottom half of the strip of toilet paper. And then I could use the pointed end of the bamboo skewer, which is absolutely perfect for picking up individual seeds, and put them onto the little drops of paste. Now I put just one seed per drop of paste. I've seen videos of people making these and they put like 2 or 3 seeds per. I don't want to thin the carrots later on, so I just put one seed per drop of paste. Once all the seeds are in place, it's just a matter of folding the toilet paper strip in half so that the seeds are covered on both sides, and then setting it aside to dry, and repeat the process with the next strip and keep on doing until all the seeds are done. As I was finishing up the last few lengths of seed tape, my daughter was a sweetheart and started rolling up the ones that had time to dry. And here we have all of the little lengths of seed tape that were made today out of a single package of carrot seeds. These are going to make things a lot easier to plant. There's going to be a lot less wasted seed. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day.